And for me, I'll give you one example of why people have been very kind and said, you're really good at networking, how do you do it? And even recruiters have asked me, and I think, God, like your job is recruiting. So your job is to network all the time, but you think I can do it better than you. So you're asking me. And then back when I was a, teenager, actually, I found social things really difficult. I was very awkward. I couldn't really socialize at all. So people now who know me now, because I can handle almost any conversation from a student to CEO, nothing really phases me now. So people would not equate that to like the previous me who was like the lemon in the corner, wouldn't say boo to a goose, as we say in English. But the reason that's the case is in Japan, over this intensive 20 years, I went to every kind of event, even though I didn't feel comfortable. But you force yourself. It's like every time you go, you learn something. It's just like a skill, like, cooking or riding a bike. Once you get used to it, you think, how could I ever not do it or not enjoy it? And the reason I do it more is because A, you have to as a freelancer, it's network or die. But B, it's like, because I couldn't do it for so long, you want to make the most of when you can do it. So I lost a bit of time, teenage, early 20s, I wasn't good at it. So now I'm a little bit older. I say little, but like I can do it quite well. So while I'm, full of energy still, I want to do it to the max. And I can't do things by half. You know that you probably know that already. I hate doing things by half. It's just not my DNA. It's like all or nothing. So
All or
yeah.
nothing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, you talked about when we first met. This is going all over the place. I hope you guys are okay listening to. We're jumping all around, but that's
Yeah.
kind of the conversation I like to have. But I remember when we talked first, you said that I remind me of you when you were younger and also in Japan and hungry for like success. And I don't know what you said exactly, but it was so funny. I feel like you still really have this connection to Japan, even now you are physically in Germany right now. And I think you just came here as well for the expo. But I think just I guess from what I'm picking up talking with you is always your love for Japan. It just has never faded.
Yeah, it's fun, but no, it's fun. Like I think of you as me, but like you're female. Obviously, you're female. I'm male. When I went to Tokyo, I was 27, and I was ready to hit the ground running. And I feel like you too, in a way. So that was definitely the thing. But love of Japan. I'm very realistic about Japan. I don't think it's land of milk and honey. People go on holiday these days, as we know, 4 million people a month, it's crazy. And they all go. And when I say to people in Germany, I say, I lived there 20 years. They say, oh, you're so lucky. I really want to go. It's on my list. They always say it's on my list. Or they say, I'm going next year or I'm going this year. So I think, well, it's great. It's a great place to go. And when you go on holiday, you think it's perfect because everyone is very polite. The trains are always on time. The shops are, clean and nice and, it's safe and everything. So we know the good things. But we also know, you and I know that the reality is also tough and it's not an easy place to live. I wouldn't say Japan is an easy place to live. And I don't like everything about it. I like a lot about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't stay there 20 years. My wife's Japanese. I have two kids, I have two kids there. So I'm
You're too
connected
deep
strongly.
in. Yeah.
To do it. I'm still permanent resident. I keep my permanent residency. I don't want to lose that. I worked hard for that. So the thing is, I feel like every country has good and bad. Literally, every country has good and bad, and the good in Japan outweighs the bad. But it's a challenging place. But for me personally, when I have a challenge, I give my best, and Japan was a big challenge. So I guess it brought out the best in me. Simple as that.